Hey everybody, it's your book bud Joe here, and today we are going to do the book buying Q&A. Now, I'm not really sure if this is an official tag, but I'm going to treat it as such because booktubers do tags, right? Okay, so we were tagged by the Ansible Library. I've been watching him a lot more recently, and I really like this guy. Check him out, the Ansible Library. He's got a great channel. And he saw it on Alex's Archives, I believe. And these are just a bunch of questions about your book buying habits. And I definitely want to get into this. And I can definitely get down with that. So, shall we dive right in? I'm trying my hat askew today just for something a little different. I don't know. Do you like it? Okay. First question. How many books do you own? Physical and digital, or just physical, whatever makes the most sense for discussion. Okay, number one. How many books do you own? Okay, so I just quickly counted at top speed all around my library, and I accounted for books that I have elsewhere as well. And I came up with 826. Whoa, that's a lot. Now, the last time I officially counted my books, it was when I was living in a different apartment, and there were just books everywhere. And I don't think it was as high as this because I didn't have the shelf space. So even though I purged a lot of books since then, I've also bought a lot of books. So I've been trying to fill these shelves behind me. So 826 approximately. I'm sure it's not an exact count. But wow, 826. That's a lot of books. As I was counting, I was surprised that I was getting like more than 100 per like one of these. I was like, oh wow, we're going to have almost like that one over there, the one with the fantasy books, had over 200. So as I was going along, I'm like, okay. And then I got to the smaller bookshelves, and like that was even like over 100. I'm just like, how is this happening? So that was an eye opener. I was a little shocked at that. 826. That's a nice collection, and I feel like I kind of want to go for 1,000. Do I really need to do that though? I definitely have the space. To fit some more books in here to equal 1,000. I mean, that's not like a goal, but I like round numbers, so we'll see. Okay, number two, what percentage of your books do you think you have actually read? Okay, so let me explain to you what's happening in my life. Let me explain how I'm living my life these days. Okay, so back when I was living in the previous apartment, books were just everywhere. It was a small place, and there were just hundreds of books everywhere. I had bookshelves, but they couldn't house all the books, so they were just like on the windowsills, on the floor in stacks, like neatly, like placed nicely and aesthetically pleasing, but it was just too much. So basically, I got a bigger house for the books. Am I kidding or am I not kidding? I mean, it definitely was a factor. I'm like, I need more space. So now I have a 2-bedroom condo, 2 floors. So this room down here on the first floor is just dedicated to my books. So in order to move, I purged a lot of books. I was trying to downsize while I was still in that other place, and that was very necessary because when we actually look at all the books, like I'm doing my bookshelf tour in like a few different parts, like I definitely do not need all these books, and I probably won't read all these books because I'm not going to use the word greedy, but I just get very excited. Like when I go into my library and they have the free books there and something just comes over me. Not just because they're free. Like if I go into Barnes and Noble, just something comes over me. When I am surrounded by books, I love books. So something happens. I change internally. It's kind of like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde thing. So I get excited, I get overwhelmed, and I purchase or I take. So that's just what happens. With the intention of reading them, with the intention of creating a Book Buds video, around the book. We're always doing a lot of crazy things on this channel. So, we don't necessarily have to have read the book in order to, play a game with the book or, talk about the book, that, you put it on our TBR. So I always like to have the physical books in our videos as much as possible. So I do kind of pick books up in anticipation of using them on the channel. So some of these I don't need. But we'll see. They're good for some unhauling videos. Could always do a video. Content, there's never a shortage of content, right? We can do anything we want. So that's fun. Okay, back to the question. So I try to purge. Even now with these shelves, I try to purge. When they put these shelves up, and this stuck in my head. He shouldn't have said this. He's like, he was worried about how many books I was going to put on. He's like, these could probably hold about, what did he say? Did he say 500 pounds? Or did he say 200 pounds? He made some proclamation that you shouldn't go over, and I should know how many pounds it was. I perseverated on it enough. Is it 200 or is it 500? Well, I guess neither have reached that max. So, and then I was just like worried about like how much do books weigh, and if I moved and I put a lot of these books in bins, and those bins were heavy. It was back-breaking work. It was really tough. Books are extremely heavy to move. So then I was just nervous. So I was just like, I can't fill these bookshelves. As you can see behind me, like it's not like full. The fantasy one over there is more full, and I get anxiety that I'm going to come home and like they're all going to be on the floor. Because he's like, these will probably hold, 200 pounds or whatever. I'm just like, oh my God, that doesn't sound like a lot. So I try not to like pack them, which is great because I have like other shelves as well that they could go in. And I like it when it's not packed and you have like, like a fun little visual, in between the shelves, like I do. So I like to put things on the shelves as well instead of just books. So I purge, I read and I purge, I read and I purge. So a lot of the books that I have not read. So I don't really know if I could come up with a percentage. What percentage of your books do you think you have actually read? Maybe 40%, because I've kept books from my childhood. I've kept books that I really love. I have a lot of Oz books from when I was a kid that I'm not getting rid of. And even some current ones. I have a lot of Frida McFadden books. I have a lot of Neil Shusterman books. I have a lot of TJ Klune books. So like those I'm not getting rid of. But most often I'm going to purge them. So I would say about 40%. Moving right along to number 3, what percentage do you realistically think you will read? Now, I have the intention of reading most of these books. A few of them I had said that I just get excited and I pick them up, especially in the library because they're free and I just, something comes over me and I just take them. And when I was doing my bookshelf tour, I was just like, I was just underwhelmed with a few of them. I'm just like, do I really need this book? Realistically, like I think I could realistically read 80% of them. I think that's a good, if not more, because I don't just have these just to stare at them. Like I want to read all these stories. So let's say 90%. Let's say 90%. I'd like to read 90% of these. There might be some that I'm just going to get rid of. I'm just going to include in an unhaul when I do like spring cleaning or something like that. Because when I go to the bookstore and I buy books that I really, really want, obviously I need space for those. So some have to go. So I think if push came to shove and somebody came in here and be like, get rid of these books or you're going to get killed, stick them up, I could definitely make the choice. So let's say 90%. Moving right along to number 4, how do you decide whether to buy a book instead of borrowing it? So I used to buy. Spend money. Why? We pay taxes and we have the library. So now I don't buy every single book. I get it from the library, which I've been doing that for 2 years or so. And I love it. I really love it. I love going into the library. I love using their services. It's just fun. You put it on reserve, you go pick it up. It's like, yeah, you get a new book. And like, I love my library because it lists on the receipt how much money I have saved by using the library. And it like keeps accumulating. And I'm like, oh, look, I've saved like over $1,000. So I just love it. It's really cool. And I used to be annoyed with like due dates, but I don't know, that doesn't bother me so much anymore. Sometimes I have to do a little shuffling around because if a book becomes available and I have to pick it up, I only have 2 weeks, then I have to like shift things around if I really want to read that one. And once in a while, I won't get to it and I'll just have to return it unread, which bothers me. But, it is what it is. This is not a race. I'm not being tested on this. I could just get it again. Um, it's just, I want to read them all. So I take this very seriously, guys, very seriously. So most often I'm going to the library, which is great. And I still go to Barnes and Noble. I still purchase books. I'm just a little bit more picky. Like I think I've told this story before. I used to buy every new Frida McFadden book. I've moved on. I've had my fill. Her writing style has changed. So I am comfortable with not purchasing those anymore. And I'm just going to get them from the library because I do enjoy them and they're a quick, fun beach read. Thrillers, I love them on the beach. So those I'm not going to buy anymore. TJ Klune I'm buying. I've started to purchase some Stephen King books that I really want to get into. So that really excites me that my collection of Stephen King books are growing. So I'll buy some Stephen King. I've been into Neil Shusterman lately. He's my newest favorite author. So when I see a book of his, I like to pick that up. And then I like some special editions. So if there's some special editions of some books that I love, I will definitely get those. I tend to purchase more fantasy books. I like the fantasy books for my shelves rather than just, adult fiction. The fantasy books are more exciting. They have better covers. Let's face it. Number 5, what do you do with books after you've read them? Do you keep them, unhaul them, donate, resell, etc.? Okay. So I keep saying purge. What does that mean? I'll do an unhaul video and then I will look at the books that I have and see if any of my friends want them. I have some friends who like to read, so I will offer them to friends. I will offer them to some coworkers, some acquaintances, just so that they're going to like a good home. I would like them in readers' hands. That's the way that it should be, in my opinion. I have never sold any books. How do you sell them? Thrift books? Is that what people do? I never wanted to be bothered, but I guess I can make some money back, a couple of bucks. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really want to be bothered, but I do like money. I don't know. Does anybody sell books? Tell me how to do it. What do you do? And then you got to ship it. I don't know. If you think it's worth it, let me know, and then I might consider it for myself because it would be nice to get a few bucks back, but I don't know. So, I have, by one of the libraries by me, they have a bin outside. I wish I knew the name of the company, but it's like you donate the books to that bin, and they are giving those books a good home. They also mentioned something about like recycling the book. Kind of bothers me a little bit because that means the book is like being dismantled. And they're like recycling the paper. I love recycling, but I don't think a book should. I don't really like that for the book. Don't destroy the book. I don't know. That kind of bothers me. So I kind of just like conveniently ignore that when I go there. Maybe instead I should do like find some little free libraries and stack them in there. Should I do that instead? I wish I gotta go to that bin because it sounds like the recycling is the last resort because I can't remember what it says. It's like a donation and you're donating it to this company and maybe they're selling it. So why shouldn't I sell it? I don't know what they're doing with it, but they try to rehouse them and then they say that they also recycle them. So I'm a little iffy on this process, and now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm a little even more like shaky about it. So I'll have to research that a little bit more. What do you guys think? What do you think about that? I'm having like an ethical dilemma about the recycling part. I would never, ever, ever throw a book in the garbage. So I understand it's being recycled. It's like it's a nice thing, but I just don't So if you recycle this book, it's no longer existing. And somebody went through a lot of trouble to create this book. And they created it, they wrote it, the publishers printed it, and it's meant to be a book that people read. And we're just going to rip off the covers and then like recycle the paper. I'm in pain right now. Is anybody else sweating? Because I am. That's terrible. I'm upset. I'm upset. So maybe I'm not going to do that anymore. So I'm going to have to figure this out. I'm so glad I'm filming this video. Please weigh in the comments. I need your help and support. I love my booktube friends, so please help me. All right, next question. I hope this makes me feel better. What makes a book worth keeping on your shelf? Is it a favorite, for reference, the aesthetic, or identity? Okay, so let's talk about fantasy books first because I tend to keep those more. Love the covers. I'm really drawn to the covers. If it has illustrations, I'm there even harder, guys. Love the illustrations. I'm a big kid. It reminds me of my childhood. I love fantasy art. So I tend to gravitate towards that. If I can turn the book and face it out on my library so you can see the cover, that's a bonus. So I like that. So if I read a book and I love it and it's fantasy and it has a great cover and great illustrations, I'm keeping it. If it's a middle grade, maybe I'll just, pass it along. I'm less passionate about those. So yeah, if it's from a favorite author, I'm not going to give that up just because it's like I'm TJ Klune. I got my whole stack over there. I'm not giving up my TJ Klune books. I'm not giving up my Stephen King books. I'm not giving up my like Roald Dahl books, right? I like John Saul. I like Adriana Trigiani. Favorite author? It's staying. Aesthetic? Absolutely. Reference? I'm not really referencing books in that manner, so that won't make me keep a book. If it means something to me, like if it's I have a lot of childhood books, so I'm very sentimental. So if it reminds me of a better time, a simpler time, a more innocent time, like I'm obviously keeping those because I have a ton from my childhood. If the book really makes me think, the book makes me cry, if the book touches me on a different level, I'm keeping that. And it's interesting because I don't reread books. So it's interesting that I'll keep those. I'm an enigma, aren't I? So I'm trying to learn to just not treat reading as like a race or as a job that must be done. I tend to want to read all the books immediately. And I get impatient when I'm reading a longer book, even if I like it. Analyze this, guys. Even if I like it, because this is taking me too long. I have a lot of books to read. And it gives me I feel some way about it, even though I'm loving the story and I'm into the story. So I feel like I need some therapy and I think I need to relax because it's not all about that. It's not. So if I'm keeping these books, I'm keeping them for a reason. So I should reread them. Why not? I rewatch movies 100 times. I rewatch shows. So why not enjoy my favorite pastime again? Right? Yeah, that makes so much sense, Joe. Sheesh. I'm stupid and I'm smart all in one day. I'm silly. So, but I like these conversations that I'm having, here in a room alone, but, with you guys, because I really need to take some of this advice and some of these realizations are really helping me to just enjoy reading more and to slow down. I don't need to hit my Goodreads goal. I really don't. If I'm loving my books and if I'm having a great reading year, then kudos. That's great. I don't need to compete with myself. Come on, silliness. Number 7, do you use an e-reader? Oh gosh, this question. And if so, has it reduced your physical book buying? Okay. E-readers. Guys, I am not in support of e-readers. I just don't like it. My friends know I refer to e-readers as the devil's spawn. I am not doing it. I don't want to do it. So I love reading, right? I'm the bookworm in the family. So years ago, my parents bought me an e-reader. But like, so my mom is a reader, and she's the one who got me into reading when I was younger. So she knew that I didn't want one, but I guess she was just trying. It was a really nice intention that she had, but she's like, I don't know if you're gonna like this. She gave it to me for my birthday, and I opened it, and I'm just like, what is wrong with you? What? And I can't. I don't want to be ungrateful, and I don't want to hurt my mother's feelings, but I knew that she knew that I didn't want it. So I'm just like, are you serious right now? Come on. She's like, well, I thought that maybe you'd come around to it and if you might enjoy it. No, I made her return it. Like, take it back. Take it out of this house. Take it out of my sight. Take it out of my sight. I don't want to see it anymore. So I always tell that story and I laugh because, no, I'm not e-reading books. There are certain times, very rarely, where like, I don't know what it is. Sometimes a book is not available. Or if it's like a novella, they love to do that. They love to make them little e-readers, the little novellas that's only available on as an e-reader or as an ebook. And I'm just like, why are you doing this to me? I've been supporting your ass for how long? How many books have I bought? And now you're going to screw me over because I don't do e-readers? Pissed. So I think once or twice I've read it on my phone because I wanted to read the novella. So I did do that once or twice, and it wasn't my favorite, but it was a novella. I can't see reading a book like that. So no, I don't do e-readers. Physical books only. Physical. Let's get physical. Physical. Okay, number 8. How I'm so crazy, and this is me. This is just how I am. Crazy. Mary's not here for me to be crazy with. This is just me, though. I'm just being me. Oh, I make myself exhausted. Number 8. How often do you use the library instead of buying books? Okay. And for what kinds of reads? So I'm at the library 2 to 3 times per week. Let me explain. Mary and I film in the parking lot of a library, our local library. We were in some other spots and like the cops chased us away. Can you believe that? Wait, was it the cops? Or it was like a park official? It was I don't know if it was like a county park. It was a park, a county park, a state park, not a state park, a county park, a town park, whatever. And we were filming there for months and months and months and months and months. And then all of a sudden it became a problem. We were in the most remote corner of the park. Nobody could really see us because we were behind that. I don't know if you remember, we were behind that like little hut building type thing that we sometimes used in our videos for like if we needed like an old building. But anyway, they kicked us out. So we needed a new place to film. So we were like, well, if anybody's going to allow us to film in their parking lot or like backyard area, it'd be the library. So we actually like went in, asked permission, introduced ourselves, and she was like, oh, sure, no problem. So we're at the library as often as we film. We do a lot in the car now, but sometimes when we're in the car, we're in the library parking lot. So I have to often go in and, return a book, pick up a book. If we do our shorts where we're in the library, we got to film in the library. So we're there often. So I'm constantly going in and like getting my books, returning my books. So I'm there like 2 to 3 times per week. For what kind of reads? Anything, because I'm not really buying everything that I'm reading. So I like to just reserve new books from my favorite authors that come out, like Lisa Jewell, Ruth Ware, Shari LaPena, some thrillers, things like that. So when they write their new book, they're once a year new books. I order them and they come in. If it's something that I saw on BookTube and I say, oh, I need to read this, I'll order it, pick it up. So anything, I'm reading anything and everything from the library. I like to listen to books as well. So I get books in that way too. So like TJ Klune, I love to listen to. I buy the book for myself, but I listen to his book because he has the best narrators and I love to listen to them. So I listen to those. So I don't get those at the library. Plus, I purchased them. And for audiobooks, I like to listen to, like, I'll probably never really buy like a memoir, especially a celebrity memoir, except unless it's Mariah Carey. Okay, number 9. What's your biggest regret purchase or category of overbuying? Unread classics, booktube hype, impulse buys, etc. So, regret. Do I regret buying anything? What's your biggest regret purchase? I mean, I guess I didn't need the really expensive edition of The House on the Cerulean Sea. That was like, how much was that? Was it over $200? It was like up there. I guess I didn't need that, but do I regret it? No, I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all. So I don't know how to answer this question. Or category of overbuying. Fantasy books, because as you saw in my bookshelf tour, I've purchased books like special edition novellas of series that I haven't even read yet. Like Leigh Bardugo has a lot of those. Like she'll have like special like novellas regarding the Grishaverse, and like they'll be illustrated beautifully. And I'm like, I need this. I don't know anything about it yet because I haven't delved into her books yet, but I need this book. So I have like a few of those that I can't read yet because I need to actually read the series first. I'm so silly. So that's overbuying. I overbuy fantasy, fairy tale-ish stuff, like Narnia books, like anything like that. Narnia, Harry Potter, Wrinkle in Time, Tolkien. I love classic fantasy. So I have so many books I haven't even read yet. So I overbuy fantasy books, guys. That's the answer to this question. Next question, number 10. If you had to cap your library at a fixed number, say 100 books, how would you decide what stays? Well, obviously, I want to increase my library to 1,000 books. So that's not going to be an issue. Okay, so if I had to cap it at like 100, what would you decide what stays? That's very difficult. So what stays? I'm going to have to pick a few books from my childhood that I can't bear to part with because they're too nostalgic and sentimental for me. That would definitely include some Oz books. And then I'm just going to have to go through every category because, the books that I love here are not only books from my childhood, adult books that I enjoy, that I've discovered as an adult. Clan of the Cave Bear books, those are like my pride and joy. So it's going to be the ones that mean something to me. I could get rid of all the books that I haven't read yet. I'll just get them from the library. So if like somebody came in here and said, you have to get rid of all but 100 books, I would have no problem getting rid of the books that I haven't read yet because I'll just read them at some point or listen to the audiobook. So out they go. So the 100 would probably be books that I have read and books that I love and books that mean something to me. Okay, so this was so much fun. I love talking about this topic. It was great. It makes me want to go to the bookstore. All right, so we are going to tag some additional folks here. I want to tag Paul from the Accidental Bookseller. I want to tag Lila at Lit and Lovely Lila. Cliff from Cliff's Dark Gems. Cliff, you rock. And I want to tag Berna from Berna's Bookish Adventures. I want to hear from you guys about your library, your book buying habits. Let's get into it. Please, if you have time, do this tag. It's more like a Q&A, but we're going to treat it as a tag at this point. Spread the love. So if you're enjoying Book Buzz, please like, share, and subscribe. And last, but certainly not least, thanks for visiting Book Buds. I always forget my ending for Solo Joe videos. The attention span is just, I'm all over the place. I'm all over the place. See, I have to hold this away because I naturally speak loudly and, animated and screaming and yelling. And when I do it into this bad boy, it amplifies it so much that it's like piercing. And I don't want to hurt any of your ears. This guy works really well. The ones that me and Mary use, they don't work. This one works. Clearly, you can tell that this one works. Look, Mary, look. It's over here, and it's fading in and out, but I'm not changing the level of my voice. I'm continually speaking in the correct frame of tone. Frame of tone. I made up a word and a phrase because I am trying to determine and illustrate to you that this microphone works and the ones that we use don't. Jerk. Oh! Oh! Okay, that's enough. That's enough silliness!